What's happening, everybody? So just got through filming the live show, and I am heading out, doing a little data logging with Stormy. Just kind of cruising around in this truck. So real quick, just so you know what I'm playing around with, this is a 2022 DT Ram. So that means it's the newer body style. 5.7 Hemi. It's got the Borla S-type exhaust, and it is rocking the stock manifolds, but it is a little bit augmented. She does have 355 gears. I took the 321s out, had those swapped out for 355s. Really, guys, it's the way this truck should have come from the factory. And I look like I'm in a scary movie in this video. Anyway, what am I up to? Well, I am data logging the truck. I'm trying to get some data on this thing. Recently did a little bit of a tune revision, and so taking the truck out to basically put it through its paces. Right now I'm just getting some cruise data, nothing really more than that. I'm looking specifically at torque converter slip, which was part of the thing that I had changed back to stock, but I'd also made some other changes and was taking a look at some comparisons between the DT Ram and the DS Ram. And man, I tell you what, anytime that I think that I've got this truck thing figured out, I find out pretty quickly that I really don't. So I put it to you like this: the DS Ram in the tune, it looks like it's got a bit more slip in the converter, and there's a few other things that, you know, some of us were thinking, well, maybe that's why the DS Ram, even though it's technically not faster, always kind of felt peppier than the DT Ram. Well, at least stock tune for stock tune. And I can report that trying to convert or translate any of the extra slip that you may have found in that DS Ram to the DT didn't work so well. By the way, we are data logging with HP Tuners software and tuning with HP Tuners software, so there's that. But right now I'm just kind of going through some cruise data, kind of tipping into the throttle right now, finding out, okay, downshift, I like that, that feels good, and then rolling back out of it. What I'm doing is when I do that quick test, when I've made changes in the transmission for downshifts and things like that, I'm just making sure that it's a progressive and linear downshift, and that it's not, you know, forever to downshift and then it downshifts and it tries to downshift again too quickly. That's just me slowly rolling down on the throttle and feeling the truck downshift, downshift, downshift. That's kind of what you're looking for, just a real even progression. And these trucks run really well with just a little bit of love put into them. I have to admit, they are a little bit on the soft side when you're talking about from the factory. Some of the 321 trucks that I've driven, the DT Ram, not the DS Ram, were, I guess, a little bit numb. This truck always kind of ran a little bit better though, and I can't really put my finger as to why that is. But anyway, this truck's always been just a real happy little truck. So, but the 355 gears, by the way, made a huge difference, not only in how the truck accelerates from a dig, but how the truck accelerates, and that means from a dead stop. From a dead stop, just the, you know, how quick you can pop out is great, but on the highway, this truck absolutely rolls. And that's something that the 392 gear trucks, that's the one thing they kind of lack, in my opinion, is that highway hit. 321 trucks are really good at that. But the 355 swap is, in my opinion, it's mandatory. If you're going to get one of these DT Rams, you're going to want to get one of those gears put in your truck as well. So, but like I say, right now, I'm just kind of doing a bit of a long form video, keeping you guys up to date. Like I say, the whole what is he doing type thing. Well, besides looking scary in this video, that's what I'm up to. So we're going to come up here, we're going to get a wide open throttle hit, just let the truck go through the gears basically and check data, check slip, see how the truck's hooking up, find out how the truck likes some of the changes that I've made to the transmission tune. I think it likes them. Seems to anyway. Take a look at the data afterwards, and I always say, and that'll be a wrap for this tune. It never really is. I always go back in. There's a slight little tweak there, a slight little tweak here. It's kind of funny, there's a big difference between, if you're going to tune somebody's vehicle like a customer's vehicle, there are parameters that fit kind of a 95 percentile. Like, you make these changes and it's going to work great for 95% of the folks that are out there. The other ones be a little bit more picky sometimes, but most of the time, not to say that it's a canned tune, but it's kind of a canned tune. For me though, I get so wrapped up in these little bitty, insignificant, non-factor details that I'll make just itty bitty changes just so that the data looks pretty, just so that this data set looks nice. It's a little bit, I don't know, the road's got a little bit of dust on it, so I don't know if we're going to be able to hook up, but we will certainly give her a go and see what we can see here. We are data logging. Somebody just got through making a hit back there. And here we go. Data looks real pretty. This truck runs so much better than it has any right to. Data looks real clean. Just rolling into the throttle, it's kind of hard to launch. This truck is really cool because we're still rocking the Goodyear Wranglers, so it's not like we're running a real high traction compound tire in this thing. It's the point that I'm trying to get to is it's an amazing vehicle if you want to learn how to launch a car well at the drag strip. This truck, when I launch this truck, is identical to how I would roll into the throttle on some of the faster cars at the drag strip, like something that would run say a 10.2 to a 9.8, 9.7 on like ET Street R's or Hoosier DBRs. You don't sometimes just want those things, you kind of roll into them. Eerily enough, it's the same technique that you use to launch scat packs on regular drag radials. It's just this kind of I called it the yoink, when you just go yoink. It's the amount of time. Anyway, you kind of roll into it and then you can kind of drop it a little bit quicker on the back half of it, but you almost have to think of it like a Nautilus machine. You're starting it, you're kind of rolling into it, and then you can feed power more quickly once you feel the front of the vehicle start to come up. And it is identical to how I launch those cars at the drag strip. So for the guys that get it, and for the guys that have driven and owned some of these faster cars, you'll know why I've got this dumb, stupid grin on my face. It's because it's kind of like I've got the same experience, although you're not, the G-force isn't the same, but the other G-force is, which is that grin-inducing type of thing that you're doing. And I have so much fun with this truck. And by the way, I don't know what the truck ran, and we weren't dragging it or anything like that, but I mean, you're looking at what that would have been, probably like a 1380-ish pass. So given the fact that it's 76 degrees, muggy, I would say 1380, 1390 maybe. Definitely a 13-second pass, just not like a mid 13. So, but it's so much fun, and this truck really does roll. It really does run good. So anyway, wanted to bring you guys along for that. I know this is a bit of a long form video, kind of a weird video. This is really also more of a background noise generator type of a video, just like my live shows are. But anyway, this is kind of the process. I want to bring you guys into the process of this. And when you're putting a tune together, it's not like you just go in and, it's a tune, alakazam, and it just kind of comes out. There's so much that goes into it, so many itty-bitty, teeny-tiny little infinitesimal details that you're looking at, especially if you're just a geek like me that gets so wrapped up in these goofy little things that you'll start to obsess over. But it's those little bitty obsessions that make that tune so sweet. So anyway, Stormy is just about there, but they're all just about there at some point, right? This thing is a riot. It's a blast to drive. It's basically summertime weather conditions, humid, and she'll still rip like that. So definitely a lot of fun. Loving this truck way more than I should. But with that, I'm rambling on. Let me go ahead and check out That's a Wrap ADUs.